whole truth under the pains and penalties of perjury?
I do.
Thank you. You can have a seat.
Thank you.
Make yourself comfortable. There's some water there.
Thank you.
When you're ready, if you can just begin by stating and spelling your full name for the record.
Yep, my name is Craig Stanzel. First is C-R-A-I-G. Last is Stanzel, S-T-A-N-Z-E-L.
And I've called you Officer Stanzel, but can you tell these jurors how you're presently employed?
Yep, I'm currently a juvenile detective with the Manchester Police Department.
So Detective Stanzel,
Correct.
what's your current duties or role and assignment as a detective with the Juvenile Division of the Manchester Police Department?
Currently, I'm a school resource officer at Memorial High School, and when school's not in, I'm a patrol officer.
What is a school resource officer?
Officer at the school. We oversee school safety, and we try and bridge that gap between police and youth.
Okay. And you said you also do patrol when school's out.
Correct.
What does patrol look like for you?
Patrol is typical police duties, whatever calls for service might come in, car accidents, domestic incidents, also proactive police work, car stops, things like that.
And how long have you held the position of detective with the Manchester Police Department?
I became a detective in September of 22.
You said September of 22?
Correct.
Have you held any other roles during your time at the Manchester Police Department?
Yep, I started off as a patrol officer.
Were you working patrol back in December of 2021?
I was.
And let me back up for just a moment. Did you graduate from the New Hampshire Police Academy?
I did.
What year did you graduate?
I believe it was April of 2020.
Do you remember what class that was?
181.
181?
Correct.
Back in December of 2021, what shifts did you typically work for the police department?
I was working day shift.
What do those hours look like?
7 to 3. 7 to 3:30.
7 a.m. to 3:30 p.m.?
Correct.
And back then, in December of 21, what would happen at the start of each of your shifts?
At the beginning of every shift, we have a roll call with either the sergeant and lieutenant of the day, along with all the patrol officers going on shift.
And you said that's at the beginning of your shift.
Correct.
About how many officers typically participated in those?
However many are on duty that day, 15, 20.
And you called it a roll call. What's the purpose of a roll call?
Multi-purpose. We do a systems check. We make sure all our gear is working properly. We'll go over any high priority incidents that may have happened recently, officer safety issues, and sort of things to be on the lookout for.
And when you say be on the lookout for, do you talk about people to be on the lookout for?
Sometimes, yes.
Is there an acronym that goes along with that, a BOLO, for example?
Yes, BOLO.
Be on the lookout for, do those apply to adults as well as children?
Yes.
I want to switch gears. I want to talk about your involvement as an officer with the Manchester Police Department on a case involving a missing child, Harmony Montgomery. Are you familiar with that individual?
Yes.
That name?
Yes.
Can you tell these jurors your role, just generally, your role and participation in that investigation?
Yes. Back in December of that year, I located the vehicle in which he was occupied.
And when you say the vehicle in which he was occupied, who's the he that you're referring to?
Adam Montgomery.
And let's break that down. When did you begin looking for Adam Montgomery? You specifically.
That morning, Be on the Lookout was issued during roll call for a blue, I believe a blue Pontiac with Maine plates that he was associated to.
He being?
Adam Montgomery.
And I want to fast forward just a bit, but did you locate Adam Montgomery that day?
I did.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
Yes.
So, Detective, I'm showing you State's Exhibit 101. Do you recognize the individual depicted in this image?
I do.
And who do you know this individual to be?
Adam Montgomery.
Do you remember the vehicle you mentioned, the Pontiac with Maine registration?
Yes.
Do you remember the individual that vehicle was registered to?
I don't recall the name. I do recall that it was related to Adam's current girlfriend of the time. I believe it was one of her relatives' vehicles.
Does the name Douglas Small stand out to you?
Yes.
Was that the individual who that vehicle was registered to?
Yes.
And if at any time during this discussion you need to review your report, let me know and I can give it to you. But that name sounds familiar. That's the individual whose vehicle you were searching for that day.
Yes.
Walk us through the course of that morning for you until you, from leaving the roll call that you discussed to finding the defendant. What did you do? What were steps that you took to find him?
So that particular day, my assigned route was Route 11, which is a west side route. I started the morning by checking local area hotels, hotel parking lots for that vehicle. I believe I checked the Econo Lodge and one other hotel on the west side and did not locate the vehicle. I then went to a parking lot where sometimes unhoused people sleep in their cars, and that's where I noticed the vehicle with the Maine registration.
And let's back up just a bit. What was the purpose of finding, what was your purpose of finding the defendant that day?
So the be on the lookout was issued during the roll call to locate Adam Montgomery in the hopes of locating his daughter Harmony, who family members hadn't seen for approximately 2 years.
2 years. Generally, when you're responding as a patrol person, do you wear any specialized surveillance footage on your person?
Yes, we're equipped with body cameras.
And is that typical of each of your shifts as a patrol officer?
Yes.
Body cam footage, who is that issued by?
I'm sorry?
Your surveillance footage, the body cam footage that you wear, who is that? Who's the issuing body of that? Who gives it to you? Do you get it from the police department? Do you get it yourself? Or something else?
The camera?
Yes.
The camera is issued by the police department.
So your body-worn camera is issued by the police department?
Correct.
Do you have occasion, in your experience, to review that footage?
Yes.
And in your prior review of body cam footage that you gather during the course of your time as in patrol, is that the footage that's depicted, is it taken at the same time as the events that you're perceiving?
Correct.
And is it fair and accurate?
Yes.
And that recording, does it capture the events as they occur to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
So turning to December 31st of 2021, you were looking for the defendant, you said.
Yes.
Were you wearing your body cam
I was.
at that time?
I was.
And was it running?
Yes.
And prior to your testimony today, have you had an opportunity to review the relevant portion of that recording?
Yes.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
Yes, you may.
So Detective, I'm handing you what's been marked for identification purposes as State's Exhibit 142. And I'm just going to ask that you look at that. What is that item?
USB card.
Okay. Have you seen it before?
I have.
Is there something attached to it?
Yep.
Do you recognize writing on the attachment?
I do.
And what is written there?
My initials.
Did you initial that?
I did.
And was that after having reviewed the portion of your body cam footage from that day?
Yes.
Thank you. Your Honor, I move to strike that deed of State's Exhibit 142 and mark it as full and published to the jury.
It can be, the ID is stricken, it is entered as a full exhibit, and it can be published to the jury.
There we go. All right. So I'm just going to ask that you turn to the screen behind you. The image that's the still on the screen there, what are we looking at?
That would be the blue Pontiac with the main registration that the Bolo was issued for.
And you testified earlier that you found the defendant that day. Where did you find him?
In a parking lot on Harvell Street, adjacent to some softball fields known as Wolf Park.
Wolf Park. I'm just going to start that video up. What was the defendant doing when you found him?
He was sleeping.
And back up for just a second. Were you able to make out an article of clothing that the defendant was wearing?
Yeah, he was wearing a T-shirt that had staff written on the back.
And can you just point at the defendant? You said staff was written on the back.
Correct.
And how about the front of his shirt?
Front says Chorus Banquet.
The individual that you identified as the defendant in this case, Adam Montgomery, is that the individual who's on the screen there?
That's correct.
Was there another individual in the vehicle with him?
There was.
And how would you describe that individual?
There was a female asleep in the front seat.
And you testified earlier that it was a blue Pontiac, I believe?
Correct.
Seeing your body cam footage, do you agree that it's blue?
Blue, maybe grayish.
Were there any other individuals in the vehicle with the defendant during your interaction?
Just the female in the front seat.
Fair to say that was your interaction with the defendant that day?
Correct.
Thank you. No additional questions. Your Honor, I pass the witness.
Good afternoon. Just real quick, I think that you said that the parking lot where you found Mr. Montgomery asleep in his vehicle was a place where unhoused people were known to park and sleep?
Correct.
And it's one of the reasons that you check that place, because unhoused people are known to park and sleep there.
Correct.
Thank you.